Yeah, 23 years old. I've been a pro for 4 years now. Feels like a while. I feel like I'm kind of a veteran, but I still feel like I have a long ways to go. And I definitely have many years ahead of me. This is kind of a sport that rewards longevity, and I see a lot of guys come into their prime in their late 20s, early 30s, and uh, dudes like Chris Horner who race until they're 42. So not entirely sure that's going to be me, but we'll see. I've been very happy with the way my career has gone. I think I had really realistic expectations of myself coming into the pro ranks, and I knew, this is a professional sport, and it's a sport that takes time to reach the top, and I've been able to consistently progress every single year in the training that I do in the winter, and the results, they don't necessarily show that kind of growth, but I, uh, I'm able to mentally think this way, and approach each year this way, and I can see the changes just in my body as I get older and as I get more mature. So no, I've racked up some results here and there, and look forward to some even bigger goals in the future. Yeah, well, cycling is not exactly well, professional cycling is not exactly a normal sport in the sense that you do the Tour de France, you're racing for 3 weeks at a time. Your body changes drastically from the start of the race to the finish of the race, and having your body have that change in such a short amount of time is not exactly a normal thing to do to yourself. So for sure, when you get more races in the legs, you see your body kind of adapt more and more to this, to the work that you put in. Whether that just be your musculature changing, your body fat changing. I personally didn't stop growing until I was third year professional, so until last year. I grew an inch when I was my first year pro, so it's kind of difficult to race a bike professionally and be growing at the same time. But that was just what my body was doing, and I was just getting taller and heavier. So I've experienced until this year. Kind of I realized that I started to sort of I sort of started to stop seeing so much change from the winter to the season, and I think that's a lot due to the fact that I'm not growing anymore, and I'm kind of stabilizing a bit throughout the season. But for sure, depending on whether it's the summer or the winter, I'll be a couple kilos lighter, a couple kilos heavier, and it's just you learn a lot about your body when you're thinking about it all the time, and kind of looking down at your legs every day, and you see like, oh, today do I look skinny, or today am I bloated? Did I have too much pasta last night? Did I not have enough carbohydrates yesterday? So yeah, there's a lot of inner dialogue that goes on, but it's just kind of part of the job. Yeah, for sure. Ever since I turned pro, I had a pretty clear idea of the kind of rider that I wanted to become. I look at somebody like Fabian Cancellara. I've always kind of idolized him ever since I got into the sport, mainly because I saw myself as a similar rider, somebody who excels in time trials, but is also a classic one-day rider. Um, so, with that said, races like Roubaix, Flanders, all the spring classics, Milan San Remo, um, on one spectrum, and then on the other side of the spectrum, you have the World Championships in the time trial, the Olympics in the time trial. So for me, with my size, that's the most realistic goal that I can kind of head towards is that kind of rider. A time trial specialist with a classic love for the classics on the side. And who knows, maybe one day I'll become more of a classic specialist with love for time trialing on the side, but I don't think anybody really loves time trialing except for maybe British people. I block out most expectations that I feel from the outside. I mean, for sure, it's impossible not to feel outside expectations. I knew, when I was a junior and I won the world championship time trial as a junior, people were saying, oh, the next Lance Armstrong, and even at that age, I was like, that's the dumbest thing. Like that we're completely different riders, completely different body types. There's no way that that's gonna be. So I would read about that and people would say that, but I would never, start to think in my head, oh, I need to win the Tour de France one day. I need to do this. I need to do that. It's for sure. Sometimes it's hard. Sometimes it's, I'm like, what do you want from me? But for the most part, I'm able to kind of quell that side of things and stay really positive and realize that every year I've made forward progression and had a really nice slinger results in 2012 with the pink jersey at the Giro and 2 fourth places at the Olympics. And I mean, something that helps me a lot is to look at the careers of somebody like Tom Boonen or Fabian Cancellara. And Cancellara didn't win Roubaix for the first time until he was 25. And didn't win Flanders, I think, till he was a couple of years after that. So it's a race that rewards patience, that rewards hard work, and I'm definitely no Peter Sagan. He's somebody who has even bigger expectations than I do. But I know in a couple of years from now, if not this year, next year, I'll be up there and starting to become more of a major player. But there's big steps that you have to make. It's sort of 1 in a million that comes out, and the first time they're like, hey, I'm here at the front of the race. So yeah, I have a lot of inner dialogue about this, but it's mainly positive, and I'm excited now. I think Roubaix this weekend is another really good chance for me to step up from last year and the year before. And it's a hard race as an American to come in and do well in. We're just not used to these kind of races. So I've always loved it, and I'm excited for it.